Speaking of awards, we just heard of the IDF Europe first ever Advocate Award. A couple of weeks ago, another award was being granted, and that was the ISPAD Hero Award. The ISPAD Hero Award was presented to Lakshmi Varimadugu, and I'm very, very sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but Lakshmi, please join us on stage. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I am very well. All the best for World Diabetes Day. Lakshmi, you
Thank you.
were diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 17, and you live with sight loss, with visual impairment, which is not connected to your diabetes diagnosis, as I know. We talked quite a bit as we met in Lisbon a while ago. But it certainly influences your life with diabetes, I can imagine. I don't even want to know how it must be to, work with insulin, measure your blood glucose, and not being able to see what it shows on the screen, for example. But you do manage. First, before we talk about the award, maybe tell us a little bit about that, living with diabetes and not being able to see, for example, the blood glucose values.
Yeah, initially years like they prescribed me insulin and vial, syringe and vial. So we don't have accessible syringes in India, and this with syringe we have to see the number on the syringe, right? And then we have to fill that syringe by taking insulin from the vial. So it was very, very difficult. I had to depend on someone. In school days, staff were helping, but after schooling days in the colleges and universities, it was very challenging if I don't find the like some people were helping me, some of my neighbors, friends, but if I don't find them, it was very, very difficult. If I don't anyone, I had to skip my meal or I had to delay my meal until I find the person. If I go with a random person and ask to fill the syringe, I was ending up with wrong doses, ending up high sugars and low sugars. It was really challenging. And glucometer, I didn't know that I have to use glucometer. I was only testing for every 3 months, fasting blood sugars and postprandial blood sugars. Only I didn't know even about HbA1c also. So that was it. Was like glucometer when I started using it. Then reading the glucometer reading the display. I can't read that because if it doesn't speak out, it's very difficult me to know my blood sugar levels at the point at particular that time. So especially it was really challenging in the middle of night. I was living in the hostel, university hostel. I was rushing to the security person because thinking that security people anyway they'll be awake. Sometimes they were not there when I needed, and I had to recheck and I have to run again to other people if there is anyone is making sound, so that I can go there and ask. I couldn't go there and ask. So that was really challenging, and I started using voice enabled glucometer. I googled it. Somehow I found Prodigy voice enabled glucometer, and I started using it. Now these days, like glucometer are very, very accessible because we can connect to the smartphone. Anyway, my smartphone reads out. Like I have a screen reader installed on my mobile. Everything it reads out. So my glucometer, reading also, it comes to the respective app of the glucometer, so I can check my blood sugar levels. I'm using insulin pen to check my to take my insulin doses. So if I want 5 units, I have to rotate the dialer 5 times. By the clicking sound, I set my dose and I take my insulin injection one. I can change my needle on my own. I can change the cartridge on my own. So it's very easy now. I'm using even glucose sensor also through apps and all. I'm checking. Thank you for asking for this question.
I'm just always curious and interested, and I'm sure many people who are already struggling living with diabetes can't imagine how much more difficult it must be when you can't see, especially in the beginning. I'm also on the board of the German Diabetes Association, and one of my fellow board members is also living with sight loss. So I learned quite a bit from her, and how also similar to you, how she refers and uses technology, especially smartphones, etc., to help with that. So that is amazing. But you were diagnosed at 17, so that's quite a while ago, and you were just going into that. But coming to something else, Lakshmi, you received the ISPAD Hero Award. ISPAD is the International Society for Pediatric and Adolescent Diabetes. It's a worldwide society taking care of children and young adults, or taking care of doctors and researchers who take care of children and young adults living with diabetes. And you are being awarded for your work with the ISPAD community in India. It says on the website, the ISPAD Hero Award recognizes Lakshmi from India for his impactful contributions to pediatric diabetes care. This award honors non-clinicians worldwide who develop projects that improve and transform the lives of young people with diabetes. That was the award being presented to you a couple of weeks ago in Lisbon at the annual assembly. Tell us a little bit more about your work and what this award was for.
Yeah, like many of our, T1D leaders across the globe, I also work for the betterment of children and adults living with type 1 diabetes in India. So our main, work includes like day-to-day. We teach them day-to-day diabetes management. We give emotional counseling, like many of you, and we also represent to the government our challenges, the need of diabetes supplies, insulins, and glucometer strips. And now governments are coming forward to help in the coming days. It's going to be a big change in India. Many state governments are coming forward, and we also conduct online meetings, in-person meetings in different parts of the country to motivate. And the interesting thing that I always do is, even my friends also make me to do, is that magic show. They call it as magic show. Like, I just show the children how I check my glucometer reading and how I take insulin on my own. They love it so much, and they appreciate me a lot. I'm grateful for that, all that love and affection. Yeah, and we are handling so many projects both nationally, and I work for Andhra and Telangana state. I work for Sweet Soul Society for Type 1 Diabetes, as well as Type 1 Diabetes Foundation of India.
The Diabetes Foundation and the diabetes community in India. And
Yes,
Lakshmi,
yes.
can I ask how many of the many children and youngsters that you work for, you say they all love your magic tricks and they love to see how you deal with diabetes. But how many of those also live with sight loss, with visual impairment? And is there a special connection then there? Can you help them, of course?
No. They are like they are all those children and adults are without. They are not with a vision challenge. They are regular people. But in India, I heard that here and there are around 5-6 people with these challenges, both challenges. So we are also figuring out whether we can do something for them, people with multiple challenges also. Yeah, but generally, like all the other T1s are like not visually impaired. They're all normal only. They don't have any complications. Small children.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm sure that for those few that are living like you must be a specific kind of role model, and that award presented to you must also mean a lot for them and for the community in India in general.
Thank you so much.
Lakshmi, thank you for joining us here. It was amazing to meet you in Lisbon a couple of weeks ago and talk so much, especially during that amazing evening we had there. And we will, with dedoc and with some of our dedoc voices, we will be coming to India in February next year. So I really hope to see you there and meet you in person again.
Yeah. We'll be very happy to meet you all, and we'll do something here. Please join. Please come to India, and thank you, DDoc Voices. Like so many leaders across the world are able to represent T1D in many conferences. Thanks to DDoc Voices,
And
all because of all of you.
And you are one of them. Thank you. Have a wonderful World Diabetes Day in India. I know it's late, so I guess I have to say good night now. But thank you very much for joining us.
Good night. Thank you.
For 30 here in Germany.
Yeah.
That
Thank
was
you.
the ISPAD Hero Award holder, Lakshmi from India, joining us live.